Welcome to the FI Investors Podcast, helping you achieve financial independence through real estate investing, one episode at a time. We talk about personal finance, mindset, and real estate investing. Whether you're a rookie or looking to scale your portfolio, we're here to provide you with the tactics and actionable steps to achieve your goals. Here are your hosts, Diego Corzo and Ward Mahoney.
What is up, Ward? How are you today? Welcome back after an amazing FI Investors Retreat.
Diego, ¿cómo está, man? It's good to be back here.
¿Cómo estás? ¿Cómo estás?
¿Cómo estás?
There you go.
Oh, man. The other retreat was amazing. We had almost 30 FI investor members. We had a few guests, and we had a killer speaker lineup.
Yes.
Can't wait to dive into some of the lessons learned, bro. We had an incredible Airbnb. We had great food, better people.
Yes.
It was awesome.
Yes, we also went out on the boat. We had hibachi, Gensa hibachi. That's what I had no idea it was going to be like that, but it was fun.
It was a blast.
Yes. So today, as FFF Financial Freedom Fridays on the FI Investors Podcast, we are going to be sharing about the event, the lessons learned, key things that we got from the speakers. So we can start with one of the speakers, Matt King.
Yeah.
Let's go in order. So we had on Thursday, we had David Lover.
Yep.
He's a lender. He's a real estate investor. He shared a bit of where he's seeing the residential rates going into 2024, 2025, which he basically said that rates, looking at the mortgage at the Fannie Mae or Freddie Mac mortgage forecast, is looking like rates would go down in the next 2 years, which is a good thing. So
but they'll stay high until about a year and a half.
Yes. So they will go down slowly. So right now it's more. So he's a big believer. Like he still sees residential real estate strong.
Yeah.
But yeah.
And if you look at his investment thesis, really what he's doing is he's getting into modular homes with the investment thesis of when rates go down, right? Mm-hmm. As soon as they hit, he said the 5 to 5.5%, he sees demand coming up, which is just going to explode, hopefully, the prices. Mm-hmm. So according to him, he is going all in on buying right now, and specifically modular homes, which if anyone doesn't know, it's, I don't know too much about it, but it's really just a home in a box.
Exactly. He's 3D printing these homes.
Yes, exactly.
Yes, and then they get assembled, like all of the pieces get delivered, and then it gets assembled on site. Yeah, which makes it much easier for permits or anything like that. It just gets approved, and I think he can put a house together in 3 months.
Crazy. And the other thing to it as well, which I thought was really cool, he started a lending company at 20 years old. He scaled it like crazy at a super young age, and then he scaled in other ways as well, right? Obviously through investing. One of the most notable things to lend him some credibility here, he would go out, buy an underperforming retail commercial strip center, and he would remove the anchor. He'd go out and buy the franchise rights to some type of gym, and then he would put that gym, build a suite for that lease into the new anchor, and he was saying he could double the NOI just by doing that single thing. So he's doubling the NOI, which could, you have to do the math here, but say it could double the value of the property depending on what the cap rate is. And then on top of that, he's profiting off of the business. So just some numbers, he's saying he could cash flow $20,000 off of the business a month, and then he could do a lot more than that, plus more than double his property value almost overnight just by placing that new tenant with a lease.
Exactly.
And we're talking $8, $10, $20 million retail center. So he is crushing it.
Doing it multiple times. So that's awesome. Then we had Matt King start us on Friday. Matt King, of course, CEO of GoBundance. I've known him since 2014, 2015. Incredible story. One of the key things, I'll let you share what he said, because a lot of people, everybody was like, this is deep.
Yeah, so I think the biggest takeaway that I had from his speech was people love to be seen, loved, and heard.
Yes.
And if someone is acting out, it's because they don't feel one of those three ways or all of them. But at the end of the day, people want to be loved, seen, and heard.
Yes. And also one of those things is like sometimes they don't feel seen, heard, loved because of potentially the childhood trauma that they went through years ago. And one of the things that we talked about was that when you hear your childhood trauma, you also heal your parents and your grandparents' trauma. And I thought that was really, really, really insightful.
That was a killer segue, by the way.
Yes. Then we talked about how to work with teams, right?
Yep.
How to employ other people. And one of those things, again, feeling heard and seen, it's more like understanding that when you're hiring people, what you have to know what their why is of like why they're doing what they're doing, caring for them. And I thought that was a really, really good conversation. And he spoke for about an hour. So that was the key highlight, which brings me on then to my brother. My brother is one of the speakers too. Just to piggyback on Matt King, he talked about treating all of his employees as if they were a customer. Because when you have a customer, right, you really care for them. You open the door for them when they're coming in. You ask them how they're doing, how their day is. You tell them goodbye. You tell them hello. And that is a culture that does help people, again, be seen, heard, and loved. And when you create that culture, because my brother went through a stage where he had to lay off some people, and now he was able to bring some back, it creates a culture that for them is like, yes, I trust you, I want to come back.
Right.
And that's something that's admirable, for sure.
Definitely.
Then my brother talked a little bit about identity and how he went through that. The first years through his company, a lot of the stuff, even though he wasn't making much, taking home much money, he was just doing it for grow of the company. And he realized later that it was because of ego. And now, as he's had his first child and focusing more on family, he's been able to, and with the market changing too, he's been able to reduce his expenses on the company. He was able to basically restructure his company, and now he's making even more. He's actually finally taking home more money than he was before.
Yeah.
So
that's fascinating. I want to dig a little bit deeper there too, right? And it's the difference between revenue and profits. If you're growing and pushing all of your profits into growing your business and you have no more profit, why are you growing the business?
Exactly.
Profit at the end of the day is what matters. And if you can achieve the same profit, say with 4 or 5 team members, maybe doing a third of the amount of deals, but keeping your margins thick on each deal, it's far better, at least from an operational standpoint, than making a lot less and trying to do 100 deals with 40 team members and still making the same amount.
Yes.
You can go a lot faster and you're a lot more agile.
Yes. We also had Paul Coronels as a speaker, and he talked about infinite banking and how to use life insurance as a way to basically you becoming your own bank.
Right.
And that's something that a lot of the members had questions on. And it was cool to be able to have him share, like he shared his whole presentation on it and how they can use infinite banking, the cash value of that, to buy other appreciating assets and be able to arbitrage basically the interest rate of what your life insurance is making to what you're getting a loan for, so that you can get a loan from your own life insurance and be able to put that money to work.
Right.
So imagine, as an example, let's say you have $200,000 in your cash value. You can use that and give it as a hard money loan. You can do it as transactional funding, so that you give out a loan for 2 days, for example, and then you get it back. So it's about you becoming your own bank.
Yeah.
So we had Paul. We had
David Tupin.
Yeah.
David is 28 years old. He owns, or doesn't own, he manages over 1,500 units across the country, multifamily guy. Got started when he was 18 with I think it was a 12 unit. Yeah. And he's crushing it. He's got a plane and he's 28 years old, completely self-made. It's crazy.
Yes.
He basically jumped in. He talked about the operations of, scaling up a multifamily. What that means is taking the NOI and doubling or tripling over a span of 18 to 24 months. And that's what he's been able to successfully do in multiple markets in Texas and a lot of other markets around the country.
Yes. We also had Mike Ayala as one of the speakers, and his was awesome because even though we asked him to speak for 1 hour, he spoke for 2.
Yep.
And that was incredible. One of the things that I definitely took away is to be concrete with your values and keep your goals flexible.
Yep.
Right? Because at the end of the day, if you have a good business partner, let's say, it's all about the values that you set that attracts you guys. And then let's say that later you might set a goal to build your company to 10 million or maybe 20 million, but the goals can change. The most important part is the values.
Right.
So we spoke a little bit on that. We spoke about relationships as well.
Yep.
And he just gave great value.
The other one he said too is in order to get out of the rat race, it's a necessity to build processes and systems.
Yes.
Which is super interesting, right? It assumes that you're delivering some kind of a product or service, right? And that you have to free up your time to be able to focus on other things. And when you free that time up, you're probably going to be building more systems and processes, right?
Exactly.
Building teams, delegating, automating wherever possible.
Yes, because if not, you own a job at the end of the day.
And who wants that?
Right? Exactly. So we had that, Mike Ayala, and then we had Diana, of course. Diana.
She crushed it.
She did. She did amazing, and she inspired a lot of the members too, in just sharing how as she started buying her first couple of properties to then realizing that she loved managing properties, and now she has a management company that does short-term rentals, mid-term rentals, and actually making, like, she manages 19 properties now in 3 different states. So just seeing her growth, she shared how she analyzed her numbers. She shared how the systems of how she employed her team. And I thought that was awesome.
Yeah. Really cool. I mean, awesome story. She started 3-4 years ago. So if anyone here is thinking, oh man, it's too late to get into the game, that's not true. Diana is a perfect example of that. And actually now, which is, I think it's the largest property she's going to be managing. I believe it's a 16 unit. I think it's in Arkansas, maybe, or Las Vegas. Where is it?
No, the 16 unit is in Arizona.
I knew it was in the state that started with an A.
Yes.
In Arizona. And she's going to midterm rent it, or have midterm rentals, short-term rentals, and a few long-term rentals. So she is really scaling, and she's doing a hell of a job. So shout out Diana.
Yes. And then one of the cool parts too, so we talked about Mike, we talked about Matt. That was basically all of the speakers. And huge shout out to Raul, because Raul also had during the break, he broke down how he's been buying businesses, doing business acquisitions, and being able to share how he analyzed the different HOA companies that he bought, the property management company, and how he's going to be scaling. So we definitely had some amazing conversations. We had hot seats. And those were the lessons from all the speakers. Again, we're going to be planning another FI Investors retreat next year in Puerto Rico. So for anybody that's interested, definitely reach out to us, send us a message so that we can put you on the wait list, just in case. We can maybe hop on a call. And if you are looking for a community, for a mastermind group, for people to hold you accountable and end 2023 the right way, please reach out to either Ward or myself on Instagram, on also the FI Investors Instagram page, and we can hop on the phone, 15 minutes, tell you a little bit about the mastermind, see how we can help you, strategy call, and go from there.
Cool. Thank you, Diego. This was a fun episode.
Awesome, man. And thank you so much, because I couldn't have done it without you, with the help of Christine, with the help of the team, because you guys definitely kept everything organized and just helped me just be focused on the presentations and the speakers and the members.
Totally. Shout out Christine for all the back end help. It was huge.
Yes. Well,
10 out of 10 success.
Yes. So till the next episode, please reach out to us if you have any questions, and we'll see you next time.
And we out.
Thank you for listening to the FI Investors Podcast. Make sure you subscribe so you don't miss any future episodes. And share this with a fellow real estate investor who you think would find value in what we do. Until next time.